Welcome to the Stairway to Heaven. We're coming to you bringing insights into the ever-changing high-frequency currents now bathing the planet and their effect on us all. The source of vital information for the evolving human being. I'm Gwilda Wiyaka. Growing younger. Only children are anxious to grow older and mature. The rest of us, from our early 20s on, tend to dread the aging process and fight it tooth and nail. Why? We have a misconception of aging, seeing it as a slow process of deterioration whereby we lose our looks, vitality, health, mobility, value, and eventually our mental capacities. What if I were to tell you none of these things are a natural part of aging? As in all things, life and death involve frequency. As we've discussed in prior episodes, only 10% of the cells in the human body are human. The rest are symbiotic creatures, without which we would not be alive. The human being is a community of synergistic organisms that ideally operate in resonance with each other. This resonance is paramount for health and life and requires balance to be maintained. When we become out of balance, chaos ensues, causing dissonance, and frequency is compromised. There are many frequency compromises that steal our health and vitality. Some are environmental, such as chemical fertilizers, pesticides, air and water pollution, EMFs, and radiation, to name a few. Others result from manipulating our environment and food sources. Over-processed foods such as white flour, corn syrup, and sugar are stripped of their nutrients and life force, and therefore their frequency. Foods laced with artificial colors, flavors, and preservatives take more personal frequency to digest and detoxify than any frequency gained from consuming them. Non-organic cosmetics, Botox, fillers, silicone, acrylics, drugs, both prescription and recreational, and alcohol can also add to our toxic load. Whether the toxins are from our environment or food, detoxification has become a major issue, putting strain on the major organs of detoxification such as the liver, kidneys, lungs, and skin. When we fall behind the power curve of detoxification, which most of us have, unprocessed toxic waste is stored as fat. Toxic fat is not only unsightly, causing us to look and act older, but it's loaded with low-frequency pollutants that compromise our overall frequency and have a negative impact on our health. Left to its own devices, toxic overload will break down our systems and threaten the balance of our aforementioned synergistic community. The toxins may even compromise the essential organisms living in our gut, without which we can't digest. Soon, partially digested particles of food leak through the lining of the gut and enter the bloodstream. Our immune system sees that partially digested food as foreign, as it has not been rendered to the form that can be used by the body, and attacks. Antibodies are built to combat the seemingly foreign entities, causing inflammation and acquired food allergies. The entire process sets up imbalances on many levels, further compromising our frequency. And this is just one example of many negative ramifications of our diet, environment, and lifestyles. When our systems are on overload, bogged down with toxins and the resulting low frequency, our skin becomes dull, eyes without life, movements sluggish, joints inflamed, our brain is in a fog, we tend to become exhausted, lethargic, and depressed. Sounds a lot like aging, no? We've come to view the results of frequency loss as the natural aging process, when indeed it's the underlying cause of illness and deterioration at any age. There are mental pollutants, such as negative thought forms and limiting belief systems, which lend inflexibility and lack of openness, new ideas, and perceptions. Inflexibility and closed-mindedness are also things we attribute to age. On a spiritual level, we've become disconnected from many of our natural expressions due to socialization and trauma. These natural expressions contribute to our overall frequency, and when impinged, frequency drops. It's energy expensive to continuously block a natural expression, further eroding our overall frequency. Advertising programs us with false perceptions of attractiveness, blinding us to the concept of beauty at any age. It conditions us to spend copious amounts of money on cosmetics, Botox, fillers, silicone, acrylics, and drugs, not to mention cosmetic surgery. The news floods our psyche with drama, trauma, and negativity. When we include the commonplace, violent, negative programming, our outlook becomes increasingly grim. All these things compromise frequency and restrict our ability to move with the increasing ambient frequency of the planet. While we have mistaken the signs of frequency compromise for aging, they are indeed related. There is a frequency below which life cannot be maintained, resulting in death. How fast we age and die is directly related to the number and intensity of frequency compromises to which we subject ourselves. There are those that maintain their frequency well into old age. These are the elders who are spry, energetic, creative, physically fit, mentally bright, and open to new ideas. There seems to be a glow about them, rendering them attractive, wrinkles and all. Myths and legends speak of times past when people lived much longer than we do today. Methuselah's lifespan, as recorded in Genesis 5:27, was 969 years. He has survived in legend as the longest living human. Before the introduction of Caucasians and their diseases, many Native Americans were commonly reported to live well into their hundreds. This was during lower frequency times, so how was it managed? Well, I can't speak for Methuselah, but the Native Americans, and for that matter, all indigenous people, lived close to and in cooperation with the earth. They were not exposed to the long list of frequency compromises we've been discussing. Being constantly attuned to the earth and her seasons, they resonated with her ambient frequency. This resonance greatly reduced drag and supports frequency. From what I've shared so far, one might think that the higher frequency, the healthier the organism. Not true. For example, radiation is a high frequency we all know to avoid. There's a bandwidth of frequency in which we thrive, above and below which we do not. This optimum bandwidth moves with the ages as we are exposed to greater and lesser ambient frequency, depending on the area of the galaxy we are currently transitioning. Regardless whether we're in a high or a low frequency times, our health and well-being depends on our resonance with the environment and therefore the planet. Different sets of ambient frequency support different species. The more flexible and adaptable a species, the greater their chances of survival at any given time. Historically, humans have proven to be extremely adaptable. Soon, however, we'll be transcending the frequency bandwidth at which most of us thrive. The process is already underway. If we're to continue, we'll need to adapt very quickly in ways we may not yet imagine. When frequency changes drastically, so do the rules, or at least how the rules apply. If we consider temperature to be frequency, which it is, how we manage ourselves in our environment at different temperatures serves as a great example. We'll engage in entirely different approaches to life at 40 below than we do at 120 in the shade. Just so, the higher frequency bandwidth we're now being confronted with will require extreme adaptation on our parts. The frequency compromises we could get away with at lower bandwidth will now have a much more rapid and negative impact on our health and well-being. At the higher ambient frequency we're experiencing, there is increasing pressure on all the places we carry restrictions. This pressure causes friction, and friction wears things out, aka aging. So what do we do? Everyone will have a different path out of the compromised frequency trap, but first and foremost, we need a starting point. Approach it with the understanding that no one can do it all, but everything we do makes a difference. It's not possible or even desirable to tackle it all at once. Not only is it overwhelming and doomed to failure, but the resulting detox may very well make us too ill to continue. Instead of the shotgun approach, revisit the list of compromises we have discussed and decide which ones you're willing to work on to begin with. Start a journal and write them down, choosing one from each of the 4 levels: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, and document them. Then decide how to address them. An example would be physical. Start replacing your processed packaged meals or fast food for fresh organic ones. Emotional. Journal the negative emotions you are plagued with of a day and choose one to find a healthy way of expressing rather than internalizing or dumping. There are ceremonies to help with emotional processing in Stairway to Heaven Episode 8, How Do You Really Feel? It's available with our compliments on www.stairwaytoheavenmedia.com. Mental. Take note of the negative thoughts running through your head and immediately negate them with an equal but opposite statement. For example, I'll never be able to pay all my bills, to I'm always provided for, and then watch for the provision. Spiritual. Take time to walk in nature, address everything you see, and really connect with it. Thank you for your lovely song, little bird. Recognize the elements and let them sink into your body in awareness. If you can, walk by a body of water. Take deep cleansing breaths. Feel the earth under your feet with every step. Feel the sun on your skin. Become aware of your love of nature. Give gratitude for all your blessings daily. Both love and gratitude are high-frequency expressions and go a long way to negating any low-frequency present. Journal your progress, and when you're ready, take another challenge from your list for each level: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. I may decide on removing sugar from my diet, exploring and expressing grief, uncovering my negative judgments, and adding spiritual practice such as meditation or yoga. At first, you'll probably have to fake it until you make it. It may feel silly and hollow thinking about thanking a bird for its song, but as you repeat it, soon your heart opens and you can really hear and appreciate the song on a deeper level. This opens you up to experiencing joy at the simple sound of birdsong. You may not believe you are provided for, but the more you say it and watch for the provision, the more you'll experience it. If you stick with the process and continue to add to it, you'll be amazed how soon you've built an entirely new lifestyle. You will also be blown away by how much younger and stronger you look and feel. Greeting every day with joy rather than dread will become your norm. Make no mistake, it is difficult, this living high-frequency life in low-frequency society. To the degree we align with nature and not society, we can transcend the low frequency of the status quo and offer resonance for those wishing to do the same. There is a bright side. Should we choose to make the needed adjustments in our habits and lifestyles, the higher ambient frequency will accelerate healing and de-aging. If we take the proper steps now, we can indeed grow younger. In fact, it's been so long since we were at this point of the galaxy and the corresponding bandwidth of frequency, we have no idea what will be possible. When our frequency rises, we become more light beings and less dense matter. What will the new human be capable of? How long will we live? What new magic will we wield? What heaven can we create on earth? As we face each day with openness and a sense of adventure, realizing that in the lack of judgment and negativity, everything can be made anew, we'll soon understand Christ's words. Except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. For only from this non-judgmental place of trusting innocence and wonder can we re-enter the circle of life and be made anew. Thank you for joining me, Gwilda Wiyaka, on the Stairway to Heaven, where we provide the updates on the energetic currents facilitating our evolution into conscious, powerful co-creators. As I'm sure you've noticed, not only do the Stairway to Heaven episodes stand alone, but they weave together to form a map to evolution and personal empowerment as we enter the new era. To revisit this or any of our past episodes, visit our archives at www.stairwaytoheavenmedia.com. If you'd like to find out more about me, my school, and the evolutionary tools we offer, visit www.findyourpathhome.com. Until next time, may you be blessed on your sacred path to wholeness. We are here. The time is now.